Howdy folks, how are y'all doing? My name is Rees, and welcome back to the Minecraft 2025 Let's Play Adventure! Where today, Deadbull5K and I are excited to make an announcement, a declaration. Deadbull has nothing to do with this, he's just hanging out up there, as he tends to. We have discovered the location of the missing loot box. It's down here with all of these other shulker boxes that I sat down here a couple of episodes ago and then forgot about by last episode. Oh, there's still a hole in the wall over here. I kind of forgot about that. I sort of forgot that everything blew up that one time that our basement was destroyed, and it sort of made a little bit of a mess back here. We'll have to contend with that at some point. We need to actually repair that, fill that in, and then do something productive with the basement, like actually finish remodeling it, because it is currently in a bit of a state, because it has been just neglected and abandoned. Speaking, though, of things that have been neglected and abandoned, you might have thought that that was a wonderful setup to work on the basement, and it would have been if it wasn't for the fact that there's something else we sort of desperately need to do. We need to go fix the equestrian housing. There's still a hole in it from that time. Gosh darn it. There we are. There we go. That's corrected. That time that a creeper blew up there, some of you may remember. We need to do that, and then we also need to transport some creatures there. So we lost our horse, our primary horse, our main horse, because it fell down a hole somehow. We're still not quite sure how that happened. And then Micah was on our donkey when it blew up. So all of that work in a previous installment to find the missing donkey. An hour of my life I'll never get back, and the donkey's dead because of a creeper. So we need to go fill in that hole. And we need to move all of these skeletal horses over there, because there's no reason for them to be here on this island. I just don't know how to get them over there, because you can't put a horse in a boat. And my concern is that I'm going to have to take them all across one at a time. It is possible we could use the nether, but that would necessitate bringing them up that flume into the roof of the nether, and then that way, not that far, and then through the portal. It might be actually the least of the hassles, because the other options are to just swim with them, and I can see all sorts of issues arriving from that. But we're going to, first off, go to bed, so that we don't have to deal with sky demons in the morning. And then we need lighting. I'm glad I thought about that before I headed over, because the last thing I would want to do is arrive over there and realize that I have no way to prevent future creepers from spawning inside of the equestrian quarters, right? So let's figure out how we want to approach that. So that place is built mostly out of, not acacia, but jungle wood, isn't it? I believe that it is. It's built mostly out of jungle wood. We've got 20 jungle wood fences. Let's create some more, because I feel like we're probably going to go through that many. And then what, lanterns, I suppose? It's also, though, made out of birch. Would birch fencing look better along with lanterns? I'm not sure. And I'm not quite sure how I arrived at lanterns for what we're going to use either. For the building, but this is what's happening, and I'm just going to keep plowing forward. I've already made this decision. Where are the lanterns? They're all right here. There's a whole stack of them. Why did I not see them? Couldn't tell you. Got the lanterns now. Got everything we need. We're running low on rockets. I think we have a lot of them lying around, though. I was going to say, I think I made a bunch of rockets previously, so we should be good to go on that front. I remember when it was getting time to build the elytra, thinking that rockets were going to be a big problem, but they just weren't, because we built a giant egg, and someday we'll make it even better. And also, I'm looking into how to utilize dolphins for faster travel. We in the future may very well be utilizing dolphins to get around this ocean faster than we could through the nether, which is fun and exciting and something to look forward to. But let's zoom in here. There shouldn't be any mobs around. There's a decisive lack of horses, though. We also need to get an additional donkey as well as a camel. We need to get these things, and we need to bring them back here so that we can start the breeding process, and then eventually surround this entire land with horses and donkeys. Did we ever figure out how the horse got out of here and managed to wander over here to this hole in the ground that we realized we built wrong, that I said earlier I would correct, and I still haven't? Remember, we wanted to have it be... Hello? Was that you? Are you burning? You shouldn't be burning. You're inside of there. Are you somehow burning? This is tragic. I don't care. I don't know why I've never noticed ferns before. I guess they just blend in with the grass. It's hard to tell them apart. I noticed that we had a bush the other day in our inventory, which I thought was fun and interesting. Okay, F8. This is where everything's going to spawn at night. let's figure out, first off, we brought way too much cobblestone and dirt, goodness me. But let's get our jungle fencing and our lantern and figure out how to correct this situation. If I place these on the 5th block, oop, did not mean to do that. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit of a hassle. Okay, but what side do we put the lantern out on? The inside or the outside? Back to front? I don't want to have more than one lantern on each of these, and I don't want the lantern plopped on the top, because that would look silly. Let's say they face towards the inside, like that. All the way around. So we do the same over here. We counted out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think. Don't ask me why we need to be so specific when we're in a horse pen and the details really don't matter that much, because I don't know. Hello, donkey. 2. Donkey Boogaloo. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting very close. And then basically we just have this spot left in the middle, and it looks like there's perfect even spacing. I didn't even think to count it. That means we just plop these down here. By the way, this entire process has been made much easier by the fact that we have the jump boost. None of this would have been possible without the jump boost. It would have been perfectly possible without the jump boost. We just would have needed to build little structures to climb on top of, and not having to do that has saved me time as well as hassle, which I appreciate a great deal. Are you kidding me? Why these 2 spots? I mean, obviously, what we could do is simple. We could just add another bank of lanterns in the middle here. That's an awful lot of lanterns, though. Alternatively, we could replace these blocks with non-spawnables. You know what I just realized? There's absolutely no way for these horses to get a drink. There's no water in here. Conveniently, there's already cobblestone beneath here, and in fact, I think this entire place is built on cobblestone, if I remember properly. So... And the house next door is built out of cobblestone, so cobblestone is the ideal build. Look, we didn't have too much cobblestone. It all worked out in the end, actually. Water. Okay, maybe not like a perfect circle like that one over there because it looks a little silly. Maybe we do a little bit more rounded and we go back and do the same over there. Something like that. Might be a little bit less goofy looking. There we are. Top both of these back off. There we go. Lovely little pools of water for all the different little equestrian creatures, and no place for mobs to spawn as far as the eye can see. This long neglected little corner of our world has just gotten a little bit nicer. Look at that thumbnail potential right there. Tune in next time where we try to figure out how to get gosh darn skeletal horses over here. Thank you folks for watching. God bless you, and I'll see you later. Bye!